Overthinking is something which has become a norm right now. I think everyone is just struggling with that. People find it really difficult to come outside of that struggle.
With meditation, with over the years, I've stopped thinking about what others think of me. Most of our overthinking is about expectations. Meditation calms our mind like anything, like nothing else.
What do you see today's generation? What's holding them back and where would you give them credit?
There is no doubt that the world, humanity is evolving. Number one,
Yes.
they're evolving.
Absolutely.
Now the problem is of emotional intelligence.
Welcome back to another episode of The Art of Zen Living. I'm your host and the founder of the Zen India, Shashank. Today's episode is for anyone who finds themselves overthinking, feeling stressed, or struggling to stay calm under pressure. It is also the 10th episode of Zen Living, and we are very grateful for the wonderful conversations we have had with our past guests. To mark the completion of 10 episodes, we're excited to introduce our special guest for the day. Former IAS officer, motivational speaker, author, and mentor, known for his insights on calmness, emotional intelligence, and wellness. Today, we're joined by Vivek Atray. With 14 TEDx talks, 5 Josh talks, and over 10 million YouTube views, he has inspired countless people worldwide. As the author of the best-selling books like It's a Wonderful Life, Finding Success Within, and The Middle of Everything, Vivek Atray inspires thousands to embrace positivity, calmness, and resilience in daily life. From spearheading projects like the Chandigarh IT Park to building youngsters and professionals worldwide, his journey reflects the power of calm clarity over overthinking and anxiety. We're thrilled to have him here to talk about overcoming overthinking and why calmness is truly a superpower. Thank you so much for joining us today. Very welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Shyam.
Your stories, your speeches, they are so inspiring. And everyone loves to hear to them.
Thank you.
And I want to start today's episode by talking about a little bit about your journey. You stepped away from IAS at the peak of your career. What was the story behind that, and what was your mindset at that time?
So I'm an engineer turned civil servant, now turned motivational speaker. And my father was an IPS officer.
Right.
So I saw his cloud, his stature. He was very powerful, very serious, very active. He died early at the age of 50. So 25 years I saw him while growing. I was 25 when he died, or 24. Then I got a job in his place. I became an officer. I saw my own clout. After another 25 years, I decided, or 24 years, I decided that I want to become a speaker, a motivator. I started doing that in service. And I was invited and I could go. I took leave from the government.
Wow.
But how much leave can you take?
That's true.
And then people started connecting, as you said in the beginning. And then I realized that I can do more for the youth. So then in the service, I was not even going to be the chief secretary because I had joined in the Haryana civil service.
Got it.
And then I had got promoted to the IAS. And I would have retired as secretary to the state government. So I think it was the right choice to take a call and then become independent. And now it's 8 years. So I'm loving every bit of it. So
Wow.
happy to have
I
taken
think that's the best part, that you're enjoying, and everyone that you are touching, the lives that you are touching.
trying to do that. And
Yeah.
people are under a lot of pressure. So what you are doing, I'm doing today. Through this podcast, if we can make a few people feel better in life generally,
Right.
because we'll talk about it, the mind is the key.
Absolutely.
And some people are losing that battle.
Absolutely.
And some people are struggling. So we need to help them.
Absolutely. So, you talked about mind. So let's start by, talking about overthinking. Overthinking is something which has become a norm right now. I think everyone is just struggling with that. We keep thinking about our decisions. We're second guessing our decisions. We keep thinking about that, ki usne kya socha hoga, usne kaise socha hoga. So there's so much struggle. And people find it really difficult to come outside of that struggle. So would like to know your thoughts that, what really is overthinking, what's happening here?
So I think it's a great topic you touched. So for the last few years, I've been talking about this. I'm not qualified as a psychologist, but through my experience in civil services, seeing people of all shapes and size, all backgrounds.
Right.
As a DC or as an SDM, you can get somebody who is a rural person who has a problem of the neighbor and his divide, and there is a water channel which is being blocked by the neighbor, and there's a fight or there's a community issue. Then the next person walking in may be a McKinsey consultant, maybe a Harvard graduate.
Right.
That person and this person may be there at the same time. As an IAS officer or your horizon has to be very wide.
Yeah.
So my understanding of human beings really increased. And I could understand who is thinking what almost, So that overthinking which people are doing, I can appreciate and understand it very well. Because I myself am human, I can be overthinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Though I must admit that with meditation, with over the years, I've stopped thinking about what others think of me. Most of our overthinking is about expectations. What is my mama thinking? What is my papa thinking about me? I got 62%. Or I got out on zero as a cricketer. Or as a footballer, I messed up. I'm a goalkeeper, I allowed the goal. Or whatever I did. So my overthinking is related to expectations and fulfilling expectations.
And these expectations might also be unreal.
They can never be fulfilled.
They can never be fulfilled.
So even Ronaldo, who is the world's most famous personality on Instagram also, in the retirement mode now, still scoring goals in the Arab League. He may also want another double number of followers than what he has.
Yes.
Someone like the President of the United States wants more power.
Yeah.
He's the most powerful man in the world. He wants more power. So the point is that we are never satisfied. So the overthinking comes from not being satisfied with what we have. I think we have to tackle it at that level. We have to spread this appreciation of gratitude. It's not a philosophical or spiritual thing only. It's a practical aspect of life.
Absolutely.
You are grateful for what you have. Your mind is at peace. You will work better. Anyone who's grateful for what they have and they're comfortable will be more efficient. As a CEO, you're a CEO. You want your team to be bouncy, energetic.
Yeah.
If they are feeling good, if they are not negative, they will work better than if they are depressed.
True.
There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. And we face that every day.
You face that. So their mindset is very important. So they have to be appreciative of what they have. Secondly, they have to be empathetic towards others. If I keep thinking about my coffee, my mic, my pencil, my jacket, then I'm very self-centered. So I have to broaden my horizon, appreciate people, as I said, from different backgrounds.
Yep.
Then I live a large-hearted life. So I think that overthinking is coming from being self-centered, from trying to fulfill expectations. And I give 5 points on this, but we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Awesome. So, you touched a little bit about staying calm, calmness. And you often say calmness is a superpower.
Oh, yeah.
And we also talked about that, most often in leadership, that's how we have been brought up that, you have to be aggressive, you need speed, you have to be fast. But how do you compare calmness with aggression, and why is calmness more powerful than aggression?
I think it's a great question. It's the most important question. You see, the balance of dynamism and calmness at the same time. I would call it dynamism. So you are active and you are calm at the same time. So Paramahansa Yogananda, I must bring him in here, the author of the autobiography of a yogi.
Sure.
He said, be calmly active and actively calm. Now, if you look at it, I, being the most efficient, busy person, can have the calmest mind. Why should I be restless all the time? Those who are restless, they may not be as impactful as those who are calm. Decision making. Better decision will come through a calm mind. There's no doubt about it. When I am impacted by something that is happening around me, I'm losing my cool. I will say things which I shouldn't say. I will do things which I shouldn't do. I will overtake when I shouldn't be overtaking a car.
Yeah.
I will become someone else.
Absolutely.
Calmness will make me healthier physically, mentally, spiritually. So I think we need to work on our calmness. And I'll add those 5 points here, because avoiding overthinking, being calmer. Number one, we have to work on our physical fitness. When you're physically fit, your body and mind are in tune and you're quite calm. An athlete is not going to lie awake at night. He sleeps because he's physically tired. He's calm and he's rested. But a person who has not done physical activity will lie awake at night with the phone, and then his mind is restless and tired.
That happens.
It happens to everyone now.
Yeah.
Meditation. Meditation calms our mind like anything, like nothing else. Morning, evening, twice a day, a little bit of meditation, scientific techniques. Find out for yourself. I follow Yogananda ji's teaching, you follow anybody's teaching, but meditate.
Yep.
And all religions should meditate, not only one religion. Number 3, creative thinking. Creative thinking gives an artist, a musician, has that release. So he's not overthinking. He may be thinking about his next art or his next music composition, but he's not thinking about what people are thinking of him. So that jealousy factor, that insecurity will not be there. Creativity helps that. Number 4 is reading. I find that people who read are calmer personalities. Those who are watching videos and reels are obviously restless personalities. So you have to contain that somehow. Reading for half an hour or even 20 minutes a day is a superpower also. You learn knowledge and you calm your mind. You can't fast forward the reading
Absolutely.
part. And lastly, I would say conversations are very important. We are having a podcast conversation.
True.
But supposing somebody is meeting a friend and telling that friend कि यार I've not been feeling well, बहुत दिनों से मुश्किल हो रही है, मैं दुखी हूँ, मन हल्का हो गया, as they say. You have talked to somebody. That conversation is, Gen Z is lacking that conversation skills.
Correct.
And they think that texting is talking.
Which is
Texting is not talking.
Correct.
They use the word. My daughter says, Papa, I'm talking to someone. I can't hear you talking. No, she's texting.
Yeah, that's
so these 5 things are very important.
Absolutely. And you know, you mentioned absolutely correctly, and we come across these things so often. Like everyone talks about it, but it's so hard to, you know, bring them into your routine, into your lifestyle. I think that's where we need to work that.
We need to work.
Yeah, and it's definitely important. People talk same way about writing. You know, writing is also, again,
good point. Writing therapy.
Yeah. Journaling, because that's how you bring all your thoughts onto paper and then you start analyzing them.
My daughter has done a course in arts-based therapy, which means music, theatre, writing, singing, dance.
Nice.
And using these creative arts, you become a better version of yourself. You're less stressed out.
Absolutely. Awesome. And so you've inspired, you know, lots of youngsters, and we talked about Gen Zs a little bit. So how do you see today's generation? You know, what's holding them back? And, you know, you must have seen any pattern you must have noticed, you know, what's holding them back and where would you give them credit?
See, Shashank, there is no doubt that the world, humanity is evolving. Number one, they're evolving.
Absolutely.
If you look at India's cricket, you look at the fielding. 20, 30 years ago, they could not take these catches. Today in a test match, Nitish Reddy dived and took the catch. Yashasvi Jaiswal dived and took a catch. 30 years ago, Indian team could not have taken. Maybe West Indians could have taken. Now West Indians are facing India and losing.
That's interesting perspective. Yeah.
Now, physically we are evolving. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Neeraj Chopra has come with the first gold medal after 2 Olympics, 3 Olympics. Maybe we have 5 gold medals.
Yeah.
Number 2, the mind is evolving. The intelligence quotient is evolving. The sharpness of the mind is definitely there. Now, the problem is of emotional intelligence, of awareness of others, of respect for others. So Gen Z, while being physically and mentally more capable than the previous generations, they have to also be more understanding of others and the world and the situation. So there's no doubt about it that my GK, I'm not saying only me and my friends, would have general knowledge and general awareness, which is probably 10 times better than the Gen Z. Because Gen Z has to chat GPT or Google or Grok or whatever it is. If I ask them what is the capital of Mongolia, it's not likely that they will give me an answer. If I ask them the spellings of a word which is like Shashi Tharoor, I have a joke. So somebody met Shashi Tharoor, he was poor. And Shashi Tharoor is a good MP, but he could not help him financially. However, he changed his nomenclature from poor to impecunious. You're not poor, you're impecunious. So banda वैसे ही elevated feel कर रहा है. But the spellings of impecunious, spellings of Lamborghini, ask these kids. I say, you want a Lamborghini? Yes, sir. What are the spellings of Lamborghini? It's not important to know. I'm not saying that. I am saying that your general awareness, your interest for others, your personality, your ability to communicate, your Gen Z has to be all-rounders and less dependent on technology.
Absolutely.
We can go on talking. They are better in many, many ways than previous generations. But there are some certain things because of the nature of the time that they are suffering from.
No, you've touched such an important topic. And you mentioned that how we should use technology responsibly. And we are a technology company,
You are.
but then we have never promoted that, we're going to replace therapy. Therapy is at the center of everything that we do. And the tools we are building are just to support therapy. And that's, where everyone should start thinking, their vision should be changed, that, using technology and building technology that is more directive towards supporting your actual empathetic and emotional, practice that you're doing.
Well said.
Yeah. So, we touched about, and whatever conversation we had, this brings to my last question,
Sure.
which is about emotional intelligence. It's being talked about everywhere, from schools to workplaces. But how do we bring it from theory to practicality?
So theory is Daniel Goleman, 7 aspects of emotional intelligence. We don't need to talk about it. He talks about self-awareness, awareness of others, empathy, etc. In practice, if you are a people's person, your emotional intelligence is high. If you know what to say in front of whom and what not to say, then your emotional intelligence is high.
Yeah.
My nanny is there. I cannot talk about soccer all the time. She has no interest.
She has no interest.
You talk about gajar ka halwa and her eyes will light up. So, आपके awareness level क्या है? ठीक है? Secondly, what not to say. Children are there. Ladies are there, neighbors are there, you're talking about something personal, it doesn't really gel. Scolding somebody, emotional intelligence at work, careers, very important point. I have to scold my subordinate sometimes. You didn't do well, you let down the company. 2 juniors are there, sub-juniors are there. How can I scold this person in front of his juniors?
That is true. That's where the awareness is.
His respect, their respect for him goes out of the window.
Yep.
So I have to call him separately. And then I can, say something. But then too, I have to draw the line. Abusiveness, corporate jargon nowadays, going out of the window, it doesn't help. You're making zombies out of young consultants and all.
Yeah.
Not you, but generally.
Yeah.
So I think emotional intelligence is about empathizing with others, realizing that if you have goodwill, cheerfulness, they will work better. And saying, and that vibe which you have. We talk about the vibe. I love this new concept of vibe, which we had, but we didn't talk about it. The aura that you have, I have, is a collection of my vibes. And my vibe, when I walk into a hall, is my emotional intelligence. I'm the person I am is a result of my thoughts.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking of negativity all the time. I will be a uncomfortable person to be with.
Absolutely.
And if I'm a cheerful person, sports, music, wholesome kind of conversations, encouragement, people will like being with me. So all those guys and girls out there who are trying to impress others, if you're a good human being and a cheerful human being, you will impress others more than if you look like Hrithik Roshan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hrithik Roshan.
No, you very well said, and these are the qualities we should be working towards. So how essential has it been in your own journey, like maintaining the mental balance and meaningful relationships?
Everyone is imperfect. Nobody's perfect. So the balance as far as possible I have tried. देखो साइकिल चलती है ना, कई बार ऐसे टेढ़ी मेढ़ी हो जाती है, पर चल रही है. तो हमारी भी टेढ़ी मेढ़ी हो जाती है, but चल रही है. We didn't fall off. So I think the balance is tested when testing times come. When relationships are taken for granted. We are all human. Nobody's perfect. So the spiritual element is that you have come to earth to learn a lesson. We have come to learn something. So I talk to my audiences nowadays in my talks. I say, iPhone का कौन सा वर्जन चल रहा है? 16, 17, whatever. आपका कौन सा वर्जन चल रहा है? सोचने लगा. किसी का 4 चल रहा है, किसी का 6 चल रहा है, किसी का 8, 17 किसी का नहीं चल रहा. You have scope for improvement.
Yes.
So when you have come here, you try to improve. So I have to also improve all the time. I can't say that I've done everything I had to do. No, I want to do more. I want to be better.
Yeah.
That's the way to live. Then my emotional intelligence also needs improvement. That little bit of improvement, that's good enough.
Very well said, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and now we're moving on to the rapid fire round.
Sure, ready.
So, one leadership lesson the IAS taught you?
I think diversity is very important. Scope for thinking laterally and multidimensionally. That's what it taught.
A book that changed your life?
Autobiography hogi, without doubt. Paramahansa Yogananda. It's a spiritual book, not a religious book. It's a life-changing book. Anyone who reads it, and I can tell you 90% of the world can read it in their language. It has been translated into 50 languages.
Wow.
It is a brilliant book on how to live.
Awesome. And if you had to choose, is it optimism or discipline?
Optimism. Because discipline is something which is vital, no doubt. But sometimes I may be someone who's coming late, someone who's not punctual, someone who's not finishing the time, task in time.
Correct.
Yet I am a human being who is, cheering people up, enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Come on, yeah, let's do it. Come late, there I durust types,
Very well said. Yeah. And if someone were to pick up one of your books, which one would you recommend as a starting point?
I think for youngsters, Finding Success Within, which is a motivational book, and 52 life skills I've got in that.
Wow.
For older people, it's the middle of everything, because the middle of everything, where I've written some humorous anecdotes. Yeah.
Awesome. And if you could give one piece of advice to students or professionals, what would it be?
I think it is the fire in the belly, the passion. It should never flag. It should never reduce.
Yeah.
You have to energize yourself every single day.
That's what drives you.
That's what drives you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
it was
you, Shashank.
Wonderful talking to you. And
Same
thank
here.
you so much for joining us today.
Same here.
That was such an enlightening conversation with Vivek Atray. What really stands out is how calmness and clarity aren't just ideas. They are practices that can transform the way we think, respond, and live. Sometimes it's not about finding all the answers, but about pausing, turning in, and giving ourselves the space to see things more clearly. A heartfelt thank you to Vivek sir for sharing his journey and for showing us how overthinking can be replaced with calmness, emotional intelligence, and a deeper sense of balance. Until next time, stay curious, stay calm, and take care.